Hey everyone, I'm going to do this real quick before I get ready for work. Got to be at work in an hour and a half. Uh, but here's a question I have for you guys. Here's a question I have. Now, this is nothing against anybody out there or anything. Nothing against anybody. But if you're a fan of something, and yet, let's say you have a family that doesn't really know about this, or if they do or have some kind of idea, my question is, if you're a fan of something, and let's say you have family or even friends that may or may not know about this, and yet you see some kind of product or collectible figure or whatever of said franchise that you're a fan of, how do you go about trying to get that product, that figure, without your family or friends that may or may not be aware of your fandom to this franchise? How do you go about getting it? You see, this is a question anybody that's a fan of something is going to be asked. You know, and again, nothing against anybody. If you're a fan of something, it's your right to be a fan of something. If you want to get whatever you're a fan of, get whatever you're a fan of. You know, that's your choice. But here's my question. There is a portion of the MLP FIM fan base known as Bronies. Now, nothing against them, with all due respect. If they want to be a fan of FIM, that's their choice. I mean, look at me. I have the complete first season of MLP Generation 1 when it was released by Rhino. I have the movie when it was released by Rhino, or released onto DVD by Rhino. And I'm probably going to get the 30th anniversary edition released by Shout Factory. I have the complete season of MLP G1, as well as some of its best of episodes on another DVD they sold at the same time. I'm probably going to get G2, the MLP Tales, just for collector's sake. For collector's sake, and again, one maybe probably won't, never knows, if you will, of what could happen in the future. But the point is, um, the point is, I've had nobody really question me about buying the DVDs. They'll look in my room, they'll see them, they'll probably think, okay, he's bought them for collector's issues. He grew up on them. I mean, I have the whole complete series of Gem. All right? But when you go beyond that, and like I say, you look at the collectible figures of things, I'm sure bronies, overall pony fans, if you will, sometimes, despite who they are, what their age is, what their gender is, what their ethic is, I'm sure they all get asked the one question. How do you collect certain things without people knowing? Because there are, and I'm not trying to be mean or anything, I'm trying to be realistic here. There are potentially friends and families, if they see you collecting something, that they look at collecting something that they feel is not really in your category, and yet you're buying and collecting it, don't you, how do you, my thing is, how do you get around that? Do you come out and tell them? Well, if you do, that's fine. If they accept it, that's fine. That's good. I'm sure a lot of fans of MLP FIM have come out and said, hey, I'm a fan of this. I collect these things because I'm a fan of it. And that's fine. That's cool. You know? I mean, look at me. I'm going to be 36 this year, and I've been a fan of Sonic the Hedgehog since he initially debuted back in '91. And I've been a fan of the comic book version of the series and the Saturday AM version of the series since freaking 1993. So there's nothing wrong with that. Sure, I might get teased about that, but that's about it. I mean, sure, I might get teased about that, but that's about it. So, but I've come to accept it. I've come to, like I said, I've come to accept it. I've come to, be like, okay, I basically say I've come to accept that, and I'm willing to, I've come to accept it. But still, when they see me having a Sally plush or an Amy plush or something like that, yeah, if they get in the mood, they will tease, make fun a little bit. I've come to realize, hey, that just comes with the territory. So my question to you guys, though, is how do you get around it? If you're a fan, if you're a brony or just an overall fan, but yet your family looks at you and they're saying, well, why are you a fan of this? How do you get around it? How do you get around it? So that's that's my question to you guys. Is how do you get around it? How do you get around it? It's just an obvious question. I mean, like I said, do you come out and you tell your family, oh, this is what I'm about? Or this is what I'm a fan of? Can you deal with it? Do you tell your friends that? How do you get around people not questioning you as to why you're a fan? Like if they look you straight in the eye and go like, you're this age and yet you're a fan of this, what's your problem? You know, to me, I just want to know how do people get around that? Do you secretly go online to Amazon or Walmart and order them, or Target and order them? What do you do? Let me know what you guys do. Let me know what you guys think. How do you deal with it? If you're a Brony fan or a fan of something in general, then some might question you about, or you might get questions of how you get around that. Let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to you all later.